been rigorously conducting interviews, discussions, interviews, almost from 60 to 80 days. We had discussed many issues, and we connected with people from all across India. Many people have participated, they have given views, and we want to discuss issues on critically and rationally. So in this context, we want to have a discussion today, interview with Parvez Khanji. So Parvez Khanji is a trainer, as well as he has started a campaign recently, that is Stop Hate on Internet campaign. So today we're going to have interview with Parvez Khanji to know what is Stop Hate on Internet campaign. So this is a social issue he has taken up. So we want to know today whether this social campaign, what started by Parvez Khanji, Stop Hate on Internet, how effective this is, and what is the concept of this campaign, and what are the consequences, why he has started this campaign. So we'll know this. So before I go on to talk about what is the Stop Hate campaign, I want Parvez Khanji to introduce himself. Yeah, Parvez Khanji. Hi, good evening. Welcome to the interview today. Thank you so much for giving the time.
My name is Parvez Khan. I'm a corporate trainer. I'm a behavior change therapy trainer also, and I have spent more than 8 to 10 years in this field, and I have trained many people for communication, behavior change, and I am a joint faculty member also for a engineering college, and I am committed for social works also. I have run many social awareness campaigns. At present, we are running one campaign that is called Stop Hate campaign. Primarily, we are working on the hate speeches on social media. So if I go ahead to explain you about this campaign, let me tell you one thing, that this discussion is organized by Wake Up Call campaign, which is doing a great work in the contribution of society. I have been associated with this campaign, Wake Up Call campaign, for last almost 5 to 6 months, and I have observed that this organization is also doing very well. And I congratulate Ravi Kiran for his efforts and achievements. Yes, Ravi, shall I proceed?
Yeah, Parvez Khanji. So it was really great contribution from you as well in Wake Up Call campaign, and we will slip into the today's discussion. So basically, when you talk about campaign, when did you start this campaign? Basically, Stop Hate on Internet campaign. When did you start this campaign?
We have been using social media for many days, and we are working on this for last 15 to 20 days actually. We studied a lot, we collected some researches, some theories, some suggestions, and we have observed the campaigns which are running all over the world to stop hate speeches on social media. So basically for last 15 days we have been working on this, but we have launched it last week on social media, and we have been planning it for many days. But I have observed that most of the people, they are using social media, but without any intention. There is no intention. Just we come on social media in the evening and we see one post and we start arguing with others. So we have decided to use social media with one particular purpose. I should not divert my mind while using social media. There should be one purpose in my mind while using social media. So it is our intention, it was our purpose, that we will try to reduce hate speeches and derogatory comments on social media. For last 15 days we have been working on this.
Okay, so you mentioned we, actually. Is it Parvez Khanji? Is it you, or is there's a team behind this?
So yeah, we have team. See, there are 12 core members in this team, and all the members have their specialty. Like some members, they are expert in researching and developing the content. Some people, they are good having the public contacts. There are some people, those who are very good in designing and editing videos and all. So our core members include 12 people, but in our group at present, in our social media page, we have more than 280 members in our group, and we have our WhatsApp group also. There we have 160 members. So at present, 160 people are working on this project, but in our core team, there are only 12 people.
Okay, right, Parvez Khanji. So Parvez Khanji, can you just tell me the journey of a journey, like where it all started, like where it has the spark has started who thought, I mean, how the idea has come up actually? What is the origin of the idea to start the Stop Hate campaign?
Yeah, for many days actually, what we have observed that on social media, if people exchange hatred with each other, the communal speeches, they blame each other's religion. So what happened that one single comment or one single post on social media create violence on the street. And if we see just 8 days before, 8 to 10 days before, again one more mob lynching took place in Gurgaon. There one man, one taxi driver, innocent taxi driver, means he had nothing to do with communalism. He was busy with his winning bread and butter. He used to run between Delhi and Gurgaon. So what happened that some people took his taxi, hired his taxi as a passenger, and they killed him in the name of religion and communalism. So I thought that why the innocent people are killed, even he is not sure that he is going to be killed for the hatred spread on social media. So that clicked my mind. Actually more than 150 cases has been registered due to the social media hatred, but that particular incident clicked my mind, and I said we will try to reduce hatred on social media so that it will reduce violence on the street. So it gave me a purpose to use social media.
Okay. So, Parvez Khan ji, have you faced any personally attacks or personal kind of hatred from your experiences? Have you experienced anything like that in your life or around your circle or your peer group or your relatives or friends? Have you experienced this kind of hatred, or you have seen some news and this has started?
In my city, many incidents took place. One of my relative also was victimized.
Okay.
Went to police the complaint. But I think one strong reason. I think this is more than I am also the victim of this hatred. When I was a 6-year-old, my father was killed by a mob of more than 65 people in the name of religion. I was just 6-year-old. Even I don't remember the face of my father. I didn't spend enough time with my father. It was the time of Eid, and we went to a village. In village, we had our old house, and every year we used to go to that village, and we used to celebrate Eid in that particular old house. And suddenly, what happened on the day of Eid? The communal violence broke out in the town, and we were not aware about the locality. We were not aware about the people, those who live around us, and means we didn't have any enmity with anyone in that particular region. And suddenly a mob of 60 to 65 people attacked on our house, where only 2 men were there, 3 women were there, and more than 8 to 10 children were celebrating Eid. Suddenly the mob attacked our house, and my father and my uncle was killed on the spot. So it is very close to me. Means I am also the victim of that. So what I think, that time I was not able to stop it because I was just a 6-year-old child. But today I think I should work on this so that nobody should be victimized of this communal violence. Because today I have knowledge, today I have skill, today I have strength, today I have people, those who can support me to stop this. So my intention is only one, that whatever happened with me 35 years before, it should not happen with anyone. So that is the reason. I think it is more than enough reason.
Yeah, Parvez Khan ji, this is something very close to you. I mean, there is a strong reason for you to start this. About this, these all things that happened in your family. Like what was your age when you got to know about all this?
Yeah,
like who were there to drive you? I mean, today you are a trainer, today you are very successful. I mean, hearing such incident in your own family, everyone's blood boils, and we might take a wrong step. And but still, even though such a worst situation happened in our family with us, who was the driving force behind you to take you in this path? And today you are in a position where you can train people and you can drive people in a very positive path. What happened actually? Can you just share me our your life experiences, like what exactly happened when you came to know all these things, and what was the initial thoughts like when you got to know that this thing happened in your own family and with your own father?
Age of 6, a child cannot understand what happened with his father, who killed his father, and why his father was killed. Later on, we came to know, even we filed the cases also, we proceeded the legal actions also, means my uncles and my relatives also. But later on, when I was means enough mature to understand all these things, so that time I was very angry, I was very furious that these people killed my father, these people ruled my family, and I should take revenge. But then I realized that uh, punishing 2 3 people, punishing 50 to 60 people is not the solution. We should not punish the people. We should uh, aware the people about such kind of ideology. We should aware people such kind of the hatred which does not benefit anyone. It only harms the people. So when I was grown up, when I was in young age, when I was around 20 to 24, some of my friends used to tell me that go back to that village and you can take the revenge. Now you are enough powerful, you have strength, you have power, you have knowledge about the legal activities and all. So then I said that only those 60 people didn't kill my father. The ideology and the mindset which was developed, that is the real enemy. So I should not fight with the people those who killed my father. I should fight with the ideology and the hatred which is generated by some organizations or some political ideology. So my purpose is to fight against the ideology. So that drew me a lot.
Right. Parvez Khanji, if you can tell me like what about, I mean, you are so matured and all, but some people, let's say if they hear if the same incident happened to some other person, what would be the consequences? I mean, generally in your position, even if I was there, I would have thought in a very aggressive way. I would have thought in a way like, I should take a revenge kind of thing and all. This happens with most of the people. But you still having such an incident with your own father, I mean, you take a very different step. I mean, what could be the situation if some other were there in your position?
Definitely. See, most of the people would have taken the revenge. They would have killed the same people, or they would have harmed the people belonging to that community. It is a general mindset. But due to my mother's teaching, my mother always taught us that whatever happened, it was just an incident, and the people, those who killed your father, they were not educated, they were illiterate, and they themselves didn't kill your father. They were influenced by some political ideologies. They were influenced by some political leadership. Uh, the agenda and the purpose of that attack was just a political. So then I realized that I should not fight with the people, those who came to my home, but I should fight against the people, those who brainwash their minds, those who made them realize that this particular community is our enemy, these particular people are our enemy. So that that particular moment and that particular we can say the point changed my mind, and then I started to work in this particular field. Because if I tell you, I'm in training industry, and in my classroom all the students belong to various religions and various communities, but means I never ever made the differences. Why? Because I know that people are very innocent. They don't know what drives them to create the communal tension. So therefore I took it as a ideology, I took it as a political agenda. Therefore I have no intention to take revenge from a particular community, or to take revenge from the people those who came to my home. Even still today also I go to that village and I see the houses of the people those who attack my house. I see those people, their relatives, their children, I meet them, but I never let them realize that your parents killed my father. I never let them realize. Why? Because I said the killer is not a particular person, that ideology is the killer.
Right. Well, rightly said, Parvez Kanji. The thoughts and really are inspiring, and your mind, the way you have been fought your situation is really inspiring and really great motive. You can, I mean, these ideas can really change many mindsets, I believe. Let's quickly get into this Stop Hate on Internet campaign. So, can you just quickly tell me what is the road plan and what is the idea behind this? Like, how you will want to go and how you want to take this forward?
See, the motto behind starting this Stop Hate campaign, we have one line statement that more we reduce hatred on social media, more we can reduce violence on the street. Because I'll show you some data that in some recent year, how communal incidents increased. If I give you the data, since 2014, in 2014, I'm giving the incidents of all over India. In 2014, the communal incidents took place in number. I'll give you the numbers. I have numbers actually. So in 2014, 19 communal incidents took place. In 2015, 35 communal incidents took place. After that, in 2016, it was the time of Reliance Jio launch, when the Reliance Jio was launched, and it was free of cost. Almost for 6 to 8 months, we have observed that it was free of cost. Now in 2016 September, Jio launched its free internet services, and in 2016 the number of incidents again increased. In 2016 the communal incidents were 40, and after 2016, in the year of 17 and 18, the number doubled. In 2017, 80 communal incidents took place, and in 2018, it was 19 cases took place, and out of 19 communal incidents, more than 45 people have been killed just due to the communal hatred. So what I see, it is the increase of communal incidents is because of the use of social media. Because if you see the record of increased social media users, so you will see in 2016, 17, 18, social media users increased rapidly, and now in 2019 again it increased, but I have the figure till 2018 only. So what I believe, that whatever communal violence is taking place on the street, because of this social hatred is spread on social media. So we have decided to reduce social media hatred so that we can decrease the violence on the street also.
Okay. So, Parvez Khanji, is it possible that only in being away from politics, do you think things will change, or should people like you and me and other people who are serious about social issues should come in politics? Because political leaders are really very influential and very powerful, and they change system and they have the power of control of people. And we being the people, outsiders, we outside the politics, we do whatever, and again there will be damage by the mainstream politicians. Do you think our force will stop those politicians or the political bosses or political heads? Do you think it will change?
Two solutions. People, those who are in politics, they can stop it very quickly. People, those who are in politics, whether they belong to any party, whether it is a ruling party or opposition, if they are honest and if they are intended to stop this, they can easily stop. But you know that every political party has its own ideology. They have some limitations. Beyond that limitation, they cannot go, they cannot speak, and they cannot take the actions unless they get command from their higher authorities. But people like you and me, those who are not involved in politics, even we can create a great difference. I'll give you the examples of Anna Hazare, Megha Patkar, again in Delhi, that his name is Yogesh Yadav, Prashant Bhushan. These people are really doing great work being out of the politics. And I'll tell you why. Because when we are not associated with any particular political ideology, so what we can do, Today we can criticize one political party, tomorrow we can criticize another political party also. We can criticize the political party who is in government, and we can criticize the political party who is in opposition for not taking action. So this is benefit for not being in politics. So of course, people like you and me, those who are not associated with any political party, we can create pressure. We can influence these political parties to take action. Otherwise, we will come on street and it will cost you a lot. And we have seen it.
Okay.
Anna Hazare is the best example. Because of
Right.
Anna Hazare, the government changed. The new era started in 2014, and the whole credit goes to Anna Hazare and the people who are associated with him, like Arvind Kejriwal, Prashant Bhushan. These people were not political that time. So this is the example. Those who are out of the politics, they can create a great difference.
Right. So Parvez Khanji, you are saying that social media has created violence and all. What do you talk about the mainstream media? If you are saying that you can report some of the channels or the people who share the content, you can in social media you can stop. But what about the mainstream media? How can you stop this mainstream media to reach the people? Don't you think the mainstream media is creating more violence?
Mainstream media. See, I'll tell you. Once I have submitted my research theory, there was a book which was launched. In that book, I have published my article, and the title of the article was "Media Misleads the Masses." It was on 25 pages. I have made one report about media on 25 pages, and my title was "Media Misleads the Masses." As we all know that today's mainstream media is completely biased. Almost 95% media is biased. Why? Because the owner of these media houses, they are somewhere associated with some political parties, or they are running their business. I'll tell you the data which I have collected. Almost 35 news channels, 35 prominent news channels are owned by Mukesh Ambani, the chairman of Reliance Group. Mukesh Ambani has shares in more than 35 news channels, partly or fully. Again, I'll give you the clear examples. Like Arnab Goswami, as is very famous nowadays. Arnab Goswami is also influenced by one of the political party, because his uncle and his father is a very active politician from the ruling party, Bharatiya Janata Party, from Assam region. Another news channel, his name is that Sharma, India TV's Rajesh Sharma. Rajesh Sharma is a young age friend of Arun Jaitley. Arun Jaitley and Rajesh Sharma studied together in a college, and they ran many social programs in public also. And Rajesh Sharma was also contested for Rajya Sabha seat from Bharatiya Janata Party. If we talk about Z News, so that Subhash Chandra is the owner of Z News of Group, and he's also Rajya Sabha member from Bharatiya Janata Party. So all the news owners are somewhere associated with political parties. If I give you the example of the newspaper also, newspapers are also same. Newspaper, like in our region, there is a famous newspaper that is Lokmat, which is owned by a congressman. There is a newspaper that is called Dainik Sakar, which is influenced by Nationalist Congress Party. So mainstream media is completely biased. At least 95% mainstream media is biased.
Right. Parvez Khanji, don't you think you are also coming into the line where you have a danger of people attacking you as well? When you do such thing, talk about some strong political people, influencers and all. You're trying to stop them, stop their work and all. Are you not afraid that they can even target you? Like, don't you think it can be problematic for you even?
Yeah, definitely, a little bit fear is there in the mind. But what I always remind myself, when my father was killed, I could have been killed on that day. But what I think that I have been survived for a great cause. If God has saved me, so there is a reason. that my life is valuable and my life should be used for the betterment of the people. Another reason, I have spent enough time in social activities, and people in my region, they know me very well, and all the political parties also. So whenever I speak in society, I speak openly. I oppose all the political leaders, those who are doing wrong things. So these political leaders and political parties, again, they are afraid to attack on me, because now I have become a public figure. There are many people, those who follow me. There are many people, those who love me. They encourage my work. So now don't have much more threat from political parties. But rightly you said that when we are doing such thing openly, always there is a threat in our mind.
Right. Yeah, Parvez Khan ji, as I said, you have threat in your mind and all. I mean, you mentioned about the mainstream media. I don't want to go deep into it because I don't want to create a kind of a feeling that you hate some party and all. You mentioned Bharatiya Janata Party a couple of times, as we have seen from 2014 to 2020. So Bharatiya Janata Party has been there, and also we can see there is a communal violence after the Bharatiya Janata Party has come to the power. It's very clearly seen. I mean, do you want to talk about, do you want to say anything about that? As you mentioned, Arnab Goswami and some political party associated with Bharatiya Janata Party. So do you want to say that only one party is doing, or everyone are same, like everyone are involved, or things have changed more after Bharatiya Janata Party has come into power?
See, why only Bharatiya Janata Party? Because Bharatiya Janata Party is associated with Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS. And RSS was founded with one particular ideology, that India should be a Hindu Rashtra, India should be run on the principle of Manusmriti. So Bharatiya Janata Party, or we can say RSS, they have one fixed ideology and they are stuck to it. They have never ever changed this ideology. They have never dropped this ideology. And following their ideology, they have committed many crimes in past also. If we see the example of that demolition of Babri Mosque, again the riots of 2002 in Gujarat, all these incidents gave mileage to Bharatiya Janata Party. So their ideology is fixed, to hate minority, to hate some particular backward class communities. That is their ideology. If you talk about other political parties don't have such ideology. For example, if you talk about Congress, again Sapa, Basapa, or any other political party, these other political parties don't have fixed communal agenda. But Bharatiya Janata Party have fixed political agenda, that we have to always comment and criticize the culture and the lifestyle and the religion of a community which belongs to minority or Muslim community, because this is the format followed by Hitler also. If you study the Nazi and Hitler, so Hitler also used the same thing. Hitler started to hate the Jews. Hitler started to comment about the communist. Hitler started to comment and we can say that to harass the homosexual people in that in Germany. So what happened? Automatically, the majority supported Hitler, and Hitler used minorities as the political gain. So the same thing BJP is following. That we should know that BJP has one particular agenda, that whenever people ask about the development, education, health, or jobs, just give them one particular we can say one issue related to a Muslim community, and they will forget everything. Therefore, I am taking the name of Bharatiya Janata Party, because their basic agenda is very clear: to hate other religions, whether it is Muslim community, Christian community, Dalit community, or any other community. So, and on that basis also, they are giving mileage to their political strengths.
Okay. So, Parvez Khanji, I mean, I want to say that I just want to state some of the interests of even if you can take as BJP you mentioned, even MIM has provoked people in saying that we're going to fight a war and all. So, I mean, is it the both sides things are bad? I mean, like people are provoking even this side also, like things are going either side also. Do you say? I mean, do you find anything like things can go wrong from both sides also sometimes, right? So how do you take on that?
Why MIM is highlighted and why MIM is supported by minority community, because since independence, Muslim community always supported secular parties, primarily Congress party. Muslims always supported Congress party, but you know what happened since 2014 when the Modi government came in the center, and Modi government started to make policies against Muslim, and it was the responsibility of Congress party to to raise the voice against government policies, or not to harass the Muslim community. But what happened? Congress party was afraid to lose their Hindu voters. Therefore, Congress party did not raise the voice. And Muslim community in the first year of BJP government faced many challenges. And it was the golden opportunity for MIM. MIM raised the points. MIM raised the issues which was supposed to be raised by Congress party. So it gave mileage to MIM party also. So I'm not saying that MIM is doing good or bad, but when one particular community is harassed, these political parties should openly criticize the government, which Congress didn't do. And MIM took the opportunity to criticize the government, and therefore MIM party took advantage and support from this minority community also.
So yeah, Parvez Khan ji, I just want to confirm from you: is it a fight against communal hate by BJP, or is it generally you're talking about the people? When you talk about the Stop Hate campaign, are you talking about stopping the kind of a propaganda BJP is promoting, or is it a campaign to generally are you starting this? Like whatever the campaign, is it only about the BJP?
No, it is about all the people, those who are creating hatred on social media.
Okay.
Whether they belong to any community, whether they belong to Muslim community, Hindu community, any community, if they are posting communal messages, if they are commenting about a particular religion, caste, or community, our fight is against them. Because what we believe, that one particular post, when one particular post appear on social media, many people see that post, and you know what happened? Seeing that particular post, people get divided into two groups, and they start fighting on social media itself. So our fight is not against a particular party. Our fight is against that hatred, that communal hatred is being generated on social media.
So Parvez Khan ji, when you say your name, Parvez Khan, automatically the other person who listens is definitely they think that generally if you're in a training, we know that we don't talk about religion. In training, generally we don't talk, but generally in public perspective, you see when they say Parvez Khan, they generally think that okay, he's a Muslim, right? So I mean, do you get the same kind of feeling from the people, or they accept you as a really, I mean, the person who's inspiring and all? How did people receive you when you were doing this campaign? How people received you? Did they had a question like, you belong to this community, how can you stop this? Did you face such kind of a things, or you felt the same, like people calling you like, okay, you belong to this community, you're talking about this community? Did you face something like that?
I think that whether you belong to any community, your own behavior decides the reaction from other people. So I get a good treatment from people, though they know my name, but when they see my behavior, they don't only like me, they start to respect me, and they come closer to me. So as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was also having the same name like me, but he got a great respect. APJ Abdul Kalam is one of the president who has.
But just when I talk about APJ Abdul Kalam, I think I haven't seen APJ Abdul Kalam coming into mainstream media and talking about communals. So maybe somewhere he has dodged the concept of. He never spoke much about communal rights, communal hatred, and all that. So maybe he's trying to dodge this thing and never want to be in this. So that is a different concept, right?
He served the society, and he could have worked in this field also to stop the communal hatred, but he reached a particular level. He became the president, So his responsibilities increase. Now I also did the same thing. For last 8 to 10 years, I have just served the people, I have trained the people, and I have never ever talked about this communal hatred and all. But now people know me, people understand me, whether I belong to a particular community. But those who know me, they know Parvez Khan will not differentiate between the community. So if he is talking about communal hatred, it is not about or against a particular community. It is a general hatred created on social media. So those who know me very well, they understand that Parvez Khan has already served in society for 8 to 10 years, and now he is running a campaign. So it must be in the favor of society. Because earlier I never ever talk about the communal hatred and communal divisions and all. But now I think it is a time that we should run a campaign which can reduce the communal hatred from social media.
So, Parvez Khan ji, being belong to Muslim community and all, as your name talks about it. I mean, let me tell you on some of my experiences. So when I talk about when I talk to people, when I say some name, they immediately start becoming judgmental. So I'm talking about society in large. When I say my name, so they start judging by my name. So I have seen basically, when I talk to people, when I say I'm Ravi Kiran, so they start judging me. When I say that I'm like let's say my name is something like Parvez Khan. Let's say if I say my name is Parvez Khan, people start judging my name. So did you get judgment? People were judgmental to you when you say your name immediately? Did you face something like that? I mean, when you say that I'm going to start a campaign, did they judge your campaign with your name?
Those who know me, they don't judge. But those who listen my name first time, those who see my first time, those who experience me very first time, somewhere they get judgmental. But when they go through my ideas, when they go through my records, then they change their mind. So it is all about your performance. It is all about your concept which you bring before the society. Then people can change their minds. Initially, people can be judgmental, but again, your presentation, your performance, and your ideas can force people to change their mindset.
Right. Parvez Khan ji, how do you win the hearts of people? I mean, what are the things that you do to win the hearts of every community and the whole masses? What are the principles that you follow? What are the steps you take? What is your procedure? What is the action plan? What you have done in your past? What are you going to do to win the hearts of people of every community? As I said, that people start being judgmental when immediately say a name. So I know that I have seen the masked people becoming judgmental once you say the name, once you say where you're from. So like, what are your principles that you think that can win the hearts of people in large?
My principle is that first of all, I try to bring people on a common ground. What I say, whether you belong to one community, whether I belong to another community, but our issues are common. We both are facing poverty. We both are facing illiteracy. We both are facing financial problems. We both don't have jobs. We both are facing the health services. So let's talk about these issues first. Once we have solved our poverty, once we have solved our illiteracy, once we have solved our unemployment, after that we will talk about the religion. After that we will talk about our differences. After that we will talk about our different cultures. But first come to solve these basic issues. It attracts the people a lot, because I always say that if there is no school in one region, my children will not only suffer, your children will also suffer. If there is no industry in the region, my children will not only remain unemployed, your children will also remain unemployed. Here I will quote the two lines of the Sher, which that Dr. Atul said, कि लगेगी आग तो आएंगे घर सभी के ज़मे, यहाँ पे हमारा मकान थोड़ी है. Means if there is no school, children of all community will remain illiterate. If there is no hospital, children from all community will face the lack of health services. If there is unemployment, the crime will increase in every community. So I always say that first we should think about our upcoming generations, and after that we will talk about the differences. First we should talk about
Right.
our
So Parvez Khanji, can you hear me? Hello.
yeah, I can. Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. So I have a little fluctuation here. So Parvez Khanji, I'm a common man. So you have to educate me as a common man how to come into your campaign and be part of it. Can you just instruct me step by step? What are the steps I should do to be part of your campaign?
Simply, I'll tell you that wherever you are, even if you don't want to join us, and if you use social media, so whenever you see a comment, a post which is against a particular community directly with the name, you should report it. You should report that it is disrespecting a particular religion, it is hurting the sentiments of the people, and it is creating the communal violence. You should report it. You should
No,
copy the
man,
link.
like you and me know what is report. So for a common man, for a layman, what is report? If you can explain what is report for a layman, how do you explain?
The videos, the demo videos we are making, we are having the road shows. We have been to road shows also. We have printed some literatures, and we are going to people and giving the demos also. Like we are arranging PPTs also in small places. We are going and there we are organizing seminars, and we are having the street dramas also. Means we go to the morning walk where many people come. So there we are playing a 2 minutes drama also. How communal hatred is promoted and it is spread, and who is behind it, and how to stop it. So we have many programs, like we are printing posters, stickers, we are distributing pamphlets, we are organizing the public meetings, and we are organizing the online webinars also. Through all these sources, we are awareing people that communal hatred is not the solution. We need to stop it.
Okay, Parvez Khanji, any parties associated with you, helping you your campaign? Have you approached any political party so to support your campaign?
Political parties, social organizations, and some political leaders on individually, they assured me their support. But I
can you, is it possible to mention the political party or a person name who has supported you, or it's a confidential?
Political leaders from all the parties assured their support. But we are also going very safely without political leaders. We are working NGOs.
Right. So that was Parvez Khanji. Can you just give a few very brief about how to report a content that is creating a communal violence to our Facebook Live audience? The people are watching.
So whenever see a communal hatred post or a comment, click on that.
Watching account. Facebook Live, I wake up call campaign as well. Yeah. How to report? How to report?
Yeah, I'm telling you that. When you see a communal hatred post or a comment, click on that account. You will go to the profile, and exactly beside the name of that particular person or a group, this is the option. Click option, then you will go with multiple options. There you will see report option. Click on the report. When you click the report, you will see many options like nudity, threat, again violence, hate speech. So you need to click on hate speech or violence. When you click on hate speech and violence, again you get another option like what type of hate speech, what type of violence. So there you can click on the disrespecting religion, again hurting the ethnicity. You can click on that. Now it gives you two options. Last time that ask you whether you want to go for another option. Another option is like you yourself block that account. But that is not sufficient. We suggest you should go for second option. And what is second option? Second option is to submit the report. When you submit the report, this complaint is registered with the back office of Facebook. And then Facebook, what does? Facebook analyze that post and that particular account, and if Facebook finds that this particular person or group is constantly spreading communal hatred, and that account is blocked. I'll give you the example of one of the MP from your region, from Telangana, that A. Raja. Yes, you might have heard the news. Recently, his account has been blocked. And one more name is that Hindustani Bhav. His account is also being blocked. Why? Because people at large reported them communal violent. So this works.
Okay. So yeah, Parvez Khanji, as you mentioned, now I just want to tell you that a common man, how can he judge whether it is promoting violence or not? How can a common man understand whether it's creating violence or not? How can a common man can decide?
When someone comments against a particular group of people, naming the name of that religion, that is simple. For example, there is always there is a crisis. Means whenever we complain about a political leader, that this political leader is commenting about a particular religion. So what these political leaders say and how do they escape? They said that this is attack on freedom of expression. This is the attack on freedom of expression. I mean, these type of people, they want to escape in the name of freedom of expression. But we want to create a clear line between freedom of expression and hate speech. What is the line? When someone blames with name, it is hate speech. When someone says something in general, that is freedom of speech. For example, I'll give you one example. Don't mind, I'll give you an example with you only. For example, if I say Ravi Kiran is idiot person, he has no sense. This is one statement. Another statement, there are some boys, those who have no sense. So these are two statements. Which statement do you find more sarcastic and about a particular person?
Second one is more sarcastic. Second one is sarcastic.
First one, because in first statement your name.
First one is direct. First one is direct. First one is direct actually.
First one is direct. First one is hurting more. What I'm saying, like if I say Ravi Kiran is a idiot person, he has no sense. This is the first statement. And in second statement, there is a boy. He is stupid and he has no sense. Second one is indirect, and the first one is direct. So the first statement hurts directly and it creates more reactions. So this is the simple way to identify whether the speech is hateful or not. When the name of a particular community and religion is mentioned, it is clear hate speech.
Right, Parvez Khanji. So I got your idea basically, Parvez Khanji. So like is it the only program you're running, or you are what about the if you're running on social media, which is a very commonly available to every person living in India? So you're running this campaign, that's really appreciable and it's really worth it in one way. But what do you say about the mainstream media? How can you stop that mainstream media who's creating openly violence between two communities and different regions?
We are working on that also.
What is
yeah, we are working on that also, because as I said, I prepared one that report. In that report, again, I mentioned also how mainstream media is running away from its basic purpose. The mainstream media should talk about employment, mainstream media should talk about farmers, education, healthcare, but mainstream media is not talking about all these issues. So we are creating awareness about this also, and we are requesting people to unsubscribe such channels which are not talking about common people. You and me are common people. If these news channels don't talk about common people should not pay for these channels. Common people should unsubscribe these news channels. Those who just talk about only celebrities, those who talk about only controversial issues, they never talk about the issues of common people. So we are creating this awareness also, that we need to boycott or unsubscribe this mainstream media also.
Parvez Khanji, don't you think media channels are born from the people's interest? or are they creating interest in people? I think somewhere I feel like people are interested in these kind of issues. That's the reason mainstream media is covering this. Don't you think that?
Can you please repeat the question?
My question is, you are saying that unsubscribe these channels. Don't you think that it is because of people interest these media channels are running those shows? Hello, can you hear me now?
Now I can. Please repeat the question.
Yeah. My question is, don't you think it is the interest of the common people that is making the mainstream media to run those kind of shows?
Yeah, of course. I'll tell you one interesting thing. When I prepared the report about media and politics, so I came to know about one incident. One reporter from mainstream media, he shared his experience. He said that, sir, you should not organize your prime time debate at 8 or 9 p.m. because that time we want to watch our Saas Bahu serials. It was a lady. The lady called the reporter and said, sir, don't organize your debate at prime time between 8 to 9. You should organize this after 10 because we don't want to miss Saas Bahu fight and we don't want to fight between two politicians also. So what now? You know what happened? These news channels have surpassed Saas Bahu fight also. These people are much interested in political fight that they have forgot about Saas Bahu serials. Now you can see that there is no craze of Saas Bahu serial. Why? Because people find news channels. So news channel has become complete entertaining drama, we can say. There you can see drama, you can see emotional, you can see abusive languages. So people are not watching TV serials based on Saas Bahu fight. They're watching news channels because news channel is providing all the material which is provided by typical Saas Bahu serials. So the reporter said that, no madam, we cannot switch the time. We will telecast our debate on this time also because our competition is with these TV serials. We want to reduce the craze of these Saas Bahu TV serials. So this is the incidents. People are really attracted toward such kind of hate because once one scholar said, hate sells more than love. When you talk about love, people are interested in you to listen to you. But when you talk about hate, when you create the tension, everybody pays attention toward you. So this policy is adopted by this mainstream media. They want to sell only hatred because they have unlimited buyers for hate, but they don't have buyers for love, and they are following this policy.
Right. Parvez Khanji, I just want to give a statement. Parvez Khanji, I want to give a statement. Like recently, Sena government has banned, was planning to ban Republic TV from in Maharashtra. I think you might have heard about this. So, do you agree that this should be done?
Not the solution. We should make such policies and some disciplines that channel should violate it. As far as Republic TV is concerned, so what I said, Republic TV is following the same method of attracting people, like you and you get famous. So so the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray, decided to ban Republic TV. Somewhere I support this because it is created a lot of communication openly, and his nexus with a particular political party is also open. Why he's doing is and who is supporting him, everybody knows it.
Right. Parvez Khanji, you said that banning this channel is good to one extent. Let's say BJP ruling states, if they ban NDTV or some other good channels, then don't you think it is justifiable? I mean, is it also justifiable?
Yes, NDTV violates the policies. If NDTV creates communication, of course NDTV should be banned. But we don't see such things.
So do you mean to say government should ban whichever they feel it is violating the thing? So government should take it in hands.
See, according to the Indian Penal Code, the section 665, which says that anyone who hurts the religious sentiments should be punished. So if
Yeah.
a news channel is creating violence, is dividing people in the name of religion, so somewhere the news channels are violating the laws. So whichever news channel is violating the law should be banned, whether it is Republic TV or NDTV.
Paraskanj, I just want to mention a few things here. There is something called there is judiciary system we have. Okay, we have Press Council of India. Don't you think Press Council of India should look into this matter and try to stop this, or we can also lodge a case on people who are creating this? Why do you think banning is a solution? Don't you think this is a good solution that go register a case, or Press Council of India should take serious action into this?
Yes, Ravi, the Press Council of India should take action. Of course, such authorities should take action. But, our constitution is above any authority, whether it is Press Council of India. Our constitution, our sections, our laws are always above any authority, whether it is Press Council of India. So, that section 66 Act 2000 says if anyone makes objectionable comments against a particular community, should be punished. Again, in
My question is
Article
my question is, Parvez Kanji, don't you think banning a channel by a state is again taking power into their hands, freedom of speech? I mean, I don't like Arnab Goswami, but in terms of banning, I don't think it is a right move.
I know your concern is that somewhere he is avoiding freedom of speech. Your concern is that banning a news channel is attack on freedom of speech. But already I have mentioned that there is a thin line between speech and freedom of speech.
No, yeah, but so the question is, there is a different solution. You can lodge a case on that. Press Council of India can look into that matter. But banning, let's say if this state is banning one TV, other states will ban other channels. So like every state government will take power into their hands and ban all the TV channels. So like we don't get news then.
Governments are banning news channels on the basis of constitutional values, then it is right. What I'm saying,
I mean, my point is, why should a state government should ban any channel? They should go in a legal way, right?
Legal way, we know the legal process. Already there are two crore cases. By the time the news channels reported in court, the time of 10 to 20 years have been passed. So legal procedure is very slow in our country. And therefore, these news channels knows nobody can stop our screening. Therefore, anything, even if it is against the constitution. So there should be taught a lesson. Some restrictions should be taken by someone, whether it is state government or central government. Actually, on mainstream media, because for the last 4 to 5 years, we have seen the complete face of mainstream media. Earlier news channels used to report only, but nowadays news channels are getting very judgmental. They're getting judgments from news TV. So action should be taken. As I said, as you said, banning is not a solution. Banning is not a solution, but these news channels follow the constitutional values, the values, and they should maintain it. But if they don't follow it, so banning is the last solution.
Right. So, right, Parvez Kanji, so you have shared a lot of information about your Stop Hate on Internet campaign and all that. What is the final message you want to give to the people on this platform, today's interview? Finally, what do you want to give a message to people?
I want to give the ultimate message that the power of common people. I'll give the example of common people. You know, in America also it happened. Donald Trump used many hate speeches against black community, against migrants, against Mexicans. Then those raised voice against Donald Trump, and the NGOs requested Facebook to remove all the derogatory and hate speeches of Donald Trump from Facebook. But Facebook chairman Mark Zuckerberg refused. He denied that he is not going to remove Trump's communal comments from Facebook. Then NGOs started a campaign, and the campaign was called Stop Hate for Profit. And in that way, more than 1,000 companies stopped giving advertisement to Facebook, which costed Facebook $7 billion. Mark Zuckerberg incurred the loss of $7 billion. And he came to media and he said that he is going to remove those speeches from Facebook and he is going to change the policies. So my message is that if you see anything wrong on social media, raise your voice, because if today you are not affected with those hate speeches, tomorrow your upcoming generation will be affected by that, because once a post or a message is sent to social media, remains in social media for many years. Today you are not affected, but surely the generation, your children may be affected those hate speeches and communal differences. So my message is clear: more we use hate speeches on social media, more violence we can remove from our streets.
Right. Thank you so much, Parvez Kanji, for your valuable time today. I mean, your campaign, I hope that this will become successful, and definitely Wake Up Call campaign would be part of this, as far as your it's really making a change in society. I believe you would continue doing many other works. So I wish you all the best for your campaign. Thank you so much for giving your time, and have a great day, Parvez Kanji. Thank you so much.
So I request the people to join our page, Stop Hate campaign, and our slogan is no hate on the internet. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Parvez Kanji. Have a great day. Good night, and we'll meet in other discussions and interviews. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Good night, Parvez. Good night.
Thank you. Bye. Good night. Take care.
Bye. Good night.